people come to this city looking for the true history of Charleston, they are given one side of the story.
We don't always understand each other. Some of the folks have moved from speaking the Gullah language.
I speak on the history of the Gullah people.
It's never been a monoculture, and that's the story we tell today.
Jack and the Beanstalk. Charleston is famous for selling rice. Did y'all hear about our rice? You know what it was called? The famous name it had? Say again? On the packet? Yeah, it's on the packet. It's on the packet, but it's not real. So Carolina Golden Rice. For example, to the left of us is the grocery store, Harris's grocery store. They'll say that they're selling Carolina Golden Rice, but they're lying. They can't sell it no more. It don't grow no more. This is where the most valuable rice in the world was kept. This is a rice mill. All of the other ones have been destroyed from earthquakes and war. This is the last one still standing. Carolina Golden Rice. Right before the rice was ready to harvest, it turned into a golden hue. A golden hue. Real magical rice. Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack is Jacob. Jacob, J-A-C-O-B. Jacob, black people, we don't call you by your whole name, we call you by your nickname. What's up, Jack?
Yeah.
Oh, Jack. So Jack and the Beanstalk. What kind of bean was this? This was a seed now. A seed. Jack was a mama's boy. We always mama's boy because daddy ain't normally around, but anyway. Jack mama said, Jack, I need you to go to the market and trade the cow. Go to the market. Because we broke, we ain't got no more money, so we need some food. So trade the cow and bring some food back. So Jack goes on his way to the market to trade the cow, but he see a wino. A wino. They called Jesus a wino because we was always drinking, but he wasn't a wino, he wasn't drunk. So we see this wino, and the wino convinces Jack to trade his cow for some magic seeds. The slaves were only brought here because they had a knowledge on planting seeds. When they planted the seeds over here in this city, the #1 city in the whole country, we were known because of that rice. Several countries would only purchase their rice. Several countries would only purchase rice from Charleston. So when Jack ran back home and said, Mama, I got some magic seeds. Mama said, boy, I can't eat no magic seeds, you crazy? She took the seeds and threw them out the window. The eyes are the window to the soul. Threw them out the window, and overnight the seed took root. And overnight the seeds sprouted out, the beanstalk grew up into the heavens. Well, when Jacob climbed up his ladder, my bad, when Jack climbed up the beanstalk, he saw a big old giant up there. But he also saw that the giant was hiding this goose that laid some golden eggs. Everything about every fairy tale, Beauty and the Beast, beauty in the beast. No thanks. But the big strong man, do something impressive, he's a beast. But can we keep a lady? We struggle at keeping a lady now. But if you do love this man, it's hard to love us. Princess and the Frog, if you do love this frog, it's hard to love. If you kiss that frog, Beauty kiss that beast. A kiss will break love will break the curse. The frog turns into a prince with a crown on, huh? Beauty and the Beast turns into a king with a crown. Cinderella. Cinder, you take a piece of wood and you burn them up, you burn them to a cinder. El is Hebrew for God. Allah. Everything is about you and me. Everything. America, the #1 country in the whole world, there's only one American street. So check this out. Everything comes back to us. Everything. Oh, you know what? I gotta show y'all something. Check this out. Check this out. Back here used to be the projects. 1984, this is where I used to stay at. The projects, 1984, the mayor. 40-year mayor, Mayor Riley, 40 years. He said, this land is contaminated. If you stay, you're gonna die of cancer. It's contaminated land. So the people in the projects, within 2 years, we ran far away from here. Well, within 2 years, they started to build up some amazing condos from that cancer dirt. Now, this is supposed to be poison dirt.
From that cancer dirt.
Right, from the cancer dirt. Check this out. But what's really amazing is there's a man named Christopher Gaston. Christopher Gaston was a wicked devil man, ship merchant, big ship merchant. Brought all the slaves in. And now, where Christopher Gaston had his huge barracoon that he brought his slaves to straight across the water now, this is where his barracoon would be. They now have named to the left of us, that park is called Gaston's Burrow, after Christopher Gaston. But they didn't stop there. Right here, where his barracoon would be Christopher Gaston, to honor him, they say to honor us, they're going to put this $200 million slave museum. Now, it's important to know the name is everything. When they put in this museum, I Am Slave Museum, the I-A-A-M. God told Moses that my name is I Am That I Am. They are naming this museum the I-A-A-M, African American Slave Museum. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
This is where $200,000 museum, this right here is going to show you what it's going to look like. They'll be finished at the end of next year, on the water, under the water. You can walk under the building where the ship brought you to. Look at this now. And directly across from it is a battleship. You can see the battleship.
Right.
This is war now. The slave museum that our slave masters are building for us to keep us down. We're African Americans, huh? The I-A-A-M. African American. Look at this picture right here now of the museum. What are they going to look like when they get finished? Marking our ignorance. Wow. You can see the oars to a slave ship, a replica, where they brought us in. The oars, they got the, you know, where the sails, they just got the sails in. This was the projects, 1984. Today we are the #1 city in America for gentrification.
Right.
Washington
Wow, #1?
It's really bad.
Now we got to get this Mother Emanuel story, y'all. This is the most difficult story for me to tell the truth about. Mother Emanuel, Denmark, BC. Wow. So this is my church, the Mother Emanuel Church, the Mother Emanuel story. All people say is, we forgive you. We forgive you. Well, that's a lie. I don't forgive nobody who done murdered my family. Woo-wee. So here it is. The Dylan Roof, Denmark BC story. This is Denmark BC. Notice, we don't got no real picture of him. They don't never give us. This is Morris Brown. Morris Brown, another legend. No real images. It's a drawing. Now we're on Calhoun Street, John C. Calhoun. This is Mother Emanuel Church right here. That church people. We're going to get a real good look at that in just a minute. Y'all see that church? All right. And this is Calhoun Street. So I want y'all to understand the truth about the Dylan Roof shooting in our church. Because only white people tell our story. That's my church. Denmark BC lived in the neighborhood I grew up in GuLLaH GeeChee. That's my family. That's my family. So now, on Calhoun Street, there's a giant building called the Gill Auditorium. 5 years ago, they tore this building down to the ground just to make it more lavish. Beautiful, big old, powerful building. They tore it down to make it more pretty. $200 million later, gold and marble everywhere. But they got some big secrets that they hide, boy. This is it right there now. And this is the Mother Emanuel story. Gold and marble everywhere. So here we go. So you know where the church is. You saw the church. Right down the street. And then on the other side is John C. Calhoun. This is Calhoun Street. Charleston, you can only be African, you cannot be a Hebrew. When you had church, everything was controlled, you always had an overseer. When we built our own church, the first church in the South, with our own money, slaves built it, free blacks with their own money, and on their own time, they built this church. It's called the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Now we built this church, that the church we just saw, we're going to get the understanding of the church. In our own church with no overseer, Dead Mark Beasley and GuLLaH Jacket, Morris Brown were teaching this the truth. We cannot let this get out. And it's going to get out. And when they come, we're going to die like men. This was the agreement that we had, because they're going to find out what we're doing. Right. So, they were teaching the verse that we read. We are the Hebrews. They read the verse. John C. Calhoun found out what was happening. He took 146 black men to Magazine Street, to the torture house on Magazine Street. Barracoons everywhere now. This is a real picture. Real people. You looking in their eyes. $146 blacks were tortured. 36 of those 146, we got the names to everybody. 36 of those blacks were hung. John C. Calhoun, this is the torture house, Magazine Street. Currently, the old jail is still there. The torture house was larger, looked exactly the same. Currently, the old jail is where ghost tours are. Very popular ghost tours. All about marketing our culture now. Ghost tours. The torture house. They took 36 blacks from the torture house to Ashley Avenue. The hanging tree is still there. The hanging tree is a one-way street and it splits around this tree. That's the hanging tree where they tortured. First they tortured us, drove us around the city torturing us. And then they took us to Ashley Avenue, one-way street. The tree is there. They hung 36 blacks on that tree, one at a time, one at a time. July 17, 1822. Woo! And then on July 17, 2015, he came right back to the same church, spoke the same words, committed the same crime. It's just white people telling our stories. We don't know nothing about our true story. When they tore this building down, when they tore it down to the ground, just to make it better, they found those 36 black people that they hung on the tree. Right under the building. Excuse me just for a second. That's what they gave us. And then all they do is lie, step out and see them. This is why we got to know our own story. We can't let white people tell our story. Still today, they say babies and women. All they can do is lie. Under the building, they found the 36 bodies that they hung from the Mother Emanuel Church. And they're going to tell our story still today, what still lies, African burial group. Under the building now, if they found the bodies under the building, how are they going to build up on the grave site? This whole city is a grave site. And right down the street now is the actual church. Don't nobody talk about this. So now we can go right down the street and see this. We're going to see this church just a little further down.
Get back in.
Yeah, we're going to drive in.
You want to come on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right.
I got you this time, right?
I got you back. Yeah.
400 years of slavery, of oppression, of affliction has finally ended.
Oh, you can hear those stories if you want to, but not if you come this way. We talk about America and the truth about how we born.
And these are just things that will help you to be successful in life if you hold on to it.
And that is the strongest culture in the United States.